We are on Maaser Sheni, Perek Gimel Mishnah Vav, the sixth Mishnah in the third chapter in Maaser Sheni. In the last Mishnah, we learned that perot nichnesim ve'inam yotzim. If I bring my produce, my perot, my Maaser Sheni, into Yerushalayim, it's kolet. The walls of Yerushalayim are kolet. They absorb, meaning you can bring your fruit in, but you can't bring them out. Now, what happens if I don't bring in my Maaser Sheni, but I bring in tevel? You have to take off trumot and maserot, and of course, if it's a Maaser Sheni year, that Maaser Sheni as well. Says the Mishnah, we're going to see that this depends on the situation, and it's going to be a huge machloket. Says the Mishnah, perot shenigmar melachtan. If I have fruit that are ready, that are edible, that are complete, v'avru b'toch Yerushalayim, and they were passing through Yerushalayim. The truck that's carrying them from Yad Binyamin to Mitzpeh Yericho went through Yerushalayim, as it would. So now, if it goes into Yerushalayim, Yachzor Maaser Sheni Shalem v'yachel b'Yerushalayim. So then, when they take off Maaser Sheni, you cannot be podeh. You can't redeem the Maaser Sheni onto money and take the money. The fruits themselves went into Yerushalayim, and therefore the Maaser Sheni in those fruits was niklat. It was captured. It was absorbed by Yerushalayim. So therefore, it cannot be redeemed. Okay, that's on Perot Shenigmara Melachtan. Okay, the Bartanura explains why. The Kasavar, we assume matnot shelo, even though you didn't take off, you didn't designate the matana of Maaser Sheni. Nonetheless, it's kamisha or demudam. It's as if you already did. Ukaltu michitot Maaser Sheni, and Maaser Sheni was already absorbed by the walls of Yerushalayim. That's Perot Shenigmara Melachtan. Ushalo Nigmara Melachtan. And what if I have fruits that were not complete? Kagon, for example, not kagon, but the Bartanura says this is what it means. Saleh anavim lagat. Let's say I have grapes, but the grapes are being transported to the wine press. V'saleh te'enim lemukse. And I have salim, I have baskets of figs for the mukse. Remember the area where you dry it out, because they were going to use them to make igulei dveila, fig cakes, fig newtons. You have to dry it out. So therefore, for our purposes, since you're not going to eat the fresh figs, it's shelo nigmara melachtan. So the truck driver drives, instead of driving around Yerushalayim through Modin on the way to Mitzpeh Yericho, he drives through Yerushalayim, and he's carrying the grapes that are intended for the wine press. In that case, do I have to bring the Maaser Sheni itself back to Yerushalayim? It's a machloket. Beit Shammai omim yachzor Maaser Sheni shalem v'yachal b'Yerushalayim. Beit Shammai says you have to bring their Maaser Sheni in Yerushalayim. Ubeit Hillel omim, Beit Hillel says yipadeh v'yachel b'chol makom. I can redeem it and eat it anywhere. I.e., since it wasn't nigmar melachta, and since it wasn't edible, or it wasn't in its final form when it went through Yerushalayim. Therefore, it wasn't chayav and trumot and maasrot when it went through Yerushalayim, and therefore the fruits are not considered nikla according to Beit Hillel, by the walls of Yerushalayim. That is the Tanakama. So I'll give you a chart because I made one. Let's make it a little bit bigger. According to the Tanakama, perot shenigmuru melachtan, everyone agrees. If it's nigmuru melachtan, both Beit Shammai and Beit Hillel say you have to go eat the Maaser Sheni in Yerushalayim itself. The machloket is shelo nigmuru melachtan. Beit Shammai says even though lo nigmuru melachtan, you still have to bring the wine Maaser Sheni back. You can't redeem it into money. And Beit Hillel says you can redeem it into money and you can eat whatever you want. That's the Tanakama's position. Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda Omer Mishum Rabbi Yossi. Rabbi Shimon ben Yehuda argues on the Tanakama and he says no. He says the opposite. Lo nechleku Beit Shammai uBeit Hillel al perot shelo nigmara melachtan sheyipadeh Maaser Sheni d'shlem v'yachal b'chol makom. He says, listen, I disagree. I think, we'll go back to our chart, if the perot lo nigmuru melachtan, then there's no machloket. Even Beit Shammai agrees that if they're not nigmar melachtan, then the walls are not kolet. The walls do not absorb. And therefore, even Beit Shammai agrees you can redeem the Maaser Sheni once I press the grapes into wine, and I can redeem the Maaser Sheni of the wine onto money and eat whatever I want. Okay, alma ve'alma nechleku. So what did they argue about? Al perot shenigmara melachtan. What if I brought fruits? They argued on fruits that were actually brought into Yerushalayim that were already complete, regular grapes for eating. Grocery store grapes, the truck driver drove them from Yad Binyamin through Yerushalayim to Mitzpeh Yericho. Beit Shammai omim yachzor Maaser Sheni shalem v'yachal b'Yerushalayim. Beit Shammai says even in that case, of course you have to eat it in Yerushalayim. Ubeit Hillel omim yipadeh v'yachel b'chol makom. And Beit Hillel says you can redeem it and eat it in B'chol Makom. So interestingly, according to Rabbi Shimon and Rabbi Yehuda, in the name of Rabbi Yossi, Beit Hillel is actually the most interesting. To say that Peirot Shenigmuru Melachtan can be redeemed, that must mean that if you did not intend to bring them into Yerushalayim, the walls are not kolei. That's a very interesting shita. The Bartanura explains that Beit Hillel holds matanot shelo hu mulav kamishu damyan. It's not like you gave them. Okay, so therefore, this would be interesting. Therefore, Beit Shammai would be a machmir because everyone agrees it's not kamishu hormo. So even peirot shenigmuru melachtan, you would not have to. It's not kamishu hormo. So therefore, Beit Shammai is interesting. Why would he say yachzor maaser sheni shalem v'yochab Yerushalayim? Or where am I? Okay, 1 second. Inami or afilu kamishu muyadaman. Maybe even if you would say that their kamishu urmo, it's as if their dumai was taken, their truma was taken off. That's only for other truma and maizor. The issue of klitat michad is the rabbanan, and Beit Hillel are mekilin. He says, we don't paskin like Rabbi Shimon Bar Yehuda, we paskin like the Tanna Kama. Let's just finish the Mishnah. If I bring in demai into Yerushalayim, okay, if I bring in, so some say, if we're talking about demai itself, tevel shel demai. I like what we were talking about tevel before. Nichnas v'yotzei, I bring it into Yerushalayim v'yotzei v'nifteh, I can take it out and be podeh. Okay, after I take it out. V'ein tzarech lachzor, because demai, remember we said demai is safek. The point of demai is I don't know if the amaret I bought it from already took off maaser. Since it's a case of safek, we're much more lenient, and nichnas v'yotzei v'nifteh. Go in, you can bring it into Yerushalayim, take it out, and then redeem it again. We'll stop here. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to contact me at rspotter@gmail.com. I will dedicate learning to the memory of my father, Rav Simcha ben Yitzchak Kalman. Have a good day.